we have a huge development in the nuclear submarine force for China's People's Liberation Army Navy, with what appeared to be the launch of the first Type 095 attack submarine. Although much about the submarine remains unknown and speculative, there are significant differences between this new boat and previous boats that have been launched from China's nuclear submarine Shipyard. That observers of the PLA Navy consider this highly likely to be a new class, the Type 095. Visible features on the 095 provide valuable insights into the trajectory of Chinese naval modernization. The Type 095, with the NATO designation, the Sui class, represents China's third generation of nuclear attack submarines, succeeding the Type 093 family, the Shen class, and previously the Type 091, the Han class. In simple terms, the Type 095 is expected to incorporate all the latest technology available to the PLA Navy to deliver substantial improvement in stealth, sensor performance, and weapons capacity, compared with earlier Chinese nuclear submarines, which were often viewed as lagging behind Western counterparts in acoustic quietening. The Type 095 is expected to embody lessons learned over several decades of development and hard lessons. It is expected to be better and more heavily armed than the submarines it replaces. The launch of the 095 was observed at the facilities of the Bohai Shipyard in Huludao, a city in the Liaoning province that hosts China's primary nuclear submarine construction complex. Satellite imagery circulating on the Chinese internet around mid-February 2026 revealed a newly emerged submarine hull at Bohai's launch area in the eastern half of the shipyard. Initial lower-resolution imagery suggested the possibility of another Type 093B, a class that has been entering service at an accelerated pace since 2022. However, subsequent higher-quality image that you see here highlighted distinct differences. Analysts noted variations in width, stern configuration, and overall proportions, leading to the growing consensus that the submarine represented a new design rather than a further example of the Type 093 lineage. Based on this image, the Type 095 is estimated to measure approximately 110 to 115 meters in length. While this is broadly comparable to late variants of the Type 093 family, the beam appears noticeably greater, assessed at roughly 12 to 13 meters. This increase in width has important implications. A wider pressure hull typically translates into greater internal volume, allowing for enhanced machinery isolation, more extensive sound reduction measures, and potentially larger weapon storage and sensor spaces. Using conventional displacement estimation methods, these dimensions suggest a submerged displacement in the region of 9,000 to 10,000 tons, placing the submarine in a category comparable with larger Western nuclear attack submarines. The Block 5 Virginia class of the US Navy, for example, is about 10,000 tons displacement, submerged. One of the most visually striking features revealed by the imagery is the adoption of an X-tail rudder configuration. Unlike the traditional cruciform stern arrangements, where horizontal and vertical control surfaces intersect at right angles, the X-tail employs 4 control surfaces arranged diagonally. This configuration has been seen on several advanced submarine designs worldwide. Its advantages include improved maneuverability, particularly at low speeds and in shallow waters. the appearance of an X tail on the Type 095 aligns closely with prior indication that China was experimenting with novel control surfaces. Functionally, the design can reduce hydrodynamic noise while providing greater control authority, supporting both stealth and handling performance. Imagery also revealed an unfinished or open compartment directly behind the sail. This feature has generated considerable discussion. The most widely cited interpretation is that this section houses a vertical launch system. Such an arrangement would mirror the configuration observed on the Type 093B, which introduced submarine-launched vertical missile capability into the PLAN's nuclear attack submarine fleet. However, the Type 095 will likely have a greater VLS capacity than the 24 missiles on the 093B. The presence of a VLS compartment on the 095 would reinforce a clear trend of China integrating substantial missile capacity into its next-generation submarines. An alternative explanation is that the open spaces relate to ongoing construction work on the reactor compartment, although the positioning strongly favors the VLS interpretation. Assuming the compartment indeed houses a vertical launch system, likely armaments would include missiles already associated with PLAN universal launch systems. The YJ-20, widely assessed as an anti-ship ballistic or aeroballistic weapon, represents a high-speed, high-impact strike option designed to penetrate sophisticated naval air defense. The YJ-18, a cruise missile combining subsonic cruise with a high-speed terminal sprint, offers a stealthier and more conventional anti-ship weapon. The YJ-17, believed to incorporate hypersonic glide vehicle technology, would add yet another layer of strike diversity. Not saying all of these weapons would be used by the Type 095, but these are the plausible examples of what might be used. Complementing the VLS, the submarine is also expected to retain torpedo tubes. This of course allows the use of the PLAN's heavyweight torpedoes, including the U-8 and the latest U-10. It may also allow torpedo tube-launched anti-ship missiles, with the YJ-19 attracting particular interest. Described as a scramjet-powered, air-breathing hypersonic missile designed for the 533mm submarine torpedo tubes, the YJ-19 represents a different and arguably deadlier approach to anti-ship warfare than the subsonic cruise missiles used by Western submarines. While its smaller warhead may constrain effectiveness against the largest target, its speed and flight profile would present serious challenges to defensive systems. Notably absent from available imagery is any clear indication of forward diving planes mounted on the sail. This absence suggests the Type 095 may employ retractable, hull-mounted diving planes instead of fair water planes. Hull-mounted planes can reduce flow disturbance around the sail and may offer hydrodynamic benefits at higher speeds. Their retractable nature also supports operations in icy or debris-filled waters. Although definitive confirmation remains unavailable, this interpretation aligns with broader trends in submarine design. The propulsion system itself remains obscured, yet the Type 095 is widely expected to employ a pump jet propulsor. China has already introduced a pump jet on the Type 093B, indicating growing confidence in this technology. Pump jets offer advantages in acoustic silencing, particularly at higher speeds, by reducing cavitation and distributing flow more evenly. Their adoption on the Type 095 would therefore be a logical continuation of established developments. Another key area concerns hull architecture. The Type 095 is often described as a single-hulled submarine rather than double-hulled, like earlier Chinese submarines. A single-hull configuration allows a larger pressure hull relative to overall dimensions, increasing usable internal volume. This volume can be devoted to machinery rafting, vibration isolation, and advanced quietening systems. While single-hull designs place greater demands on the capabilities of the machine tools used to produce them, they are characteristic of many Western submarines prioritizing acoustic stealth. In terms of noise performance, Type 095 is almost certainly intended to achieve acoustic silencing, comparable with leading Western classes such as the Seawolf and Virginia. Such aspirations should be treated cautiously, yet they reflect broader assessments of China's advances in reactor design, precision manufacturing, and noise isolation technologies. Even incremental improvements in acoustic quietening can significantly alter undersea detection and survivability. Beyond propulsion and weapons, sensor development remains a critical factor. The Type 095 is widely expected to incorporate a conformal array sonar at the bow, replacing older spherical array sonars. Conformal arrays provide larger sensing surfaces and improved passive detection. Coupled with flank array sonars and advanced towed array systems, the combination will significantly enhance situational awareness and the tracking of targets. Operationally, the PLA Navy is likely to employ the Type 095 across a spectrum of missions. These include high-end anti-submarine warfare, long-range anti-surface strikes, land attack operations, and escorts duties for carrier battle groups. Nuclear-powered submarines offer endurance and sustained speed advantages, enabling deployment well beyond coastal waters. In this context, the Type 095 can be viewed as a strategic asset for power projection. Power projection is certainly a key reason for China's build-up of its nuclear attack submarine force over the past 3 years. This has been done through building the Type 093B, the immediate predecessor to the 095. The Type 093B represents a heavily improved derivative of the Type 093 family, introducing vertical launch capability and pump jet propulsion. Since 2022, Bohai Shipyard has launched an estimated 8 or 9 Type 093B submarines, suggesting a production tempo rarely seen in earlier decades. This sustained output reflects the scale and maturity of China's submarine industrial base. Central to this effort is the Huludao shipyard complex, whose expansion over the past decade has dramatically increased submarine assembly capacity. Multiple large assembly halls, fabrication facilities, and launch infrastructure collectively points towards an industrial strategy designed for serial production rather than sporadic construction. The launch of the first Type 095 must therefore be seen not as an isolated event, but as almost certainly the first of many in a larger class. In aggregate, the emergence of the Type 095 SSN reinforces the growth of China's nuclear submarine fleet in both quantity and quality, and the quality part of this growth is generally underappreciated in the West. While uncertainties remain substantial, the available evidence suggests a platform designed to narrow long-standing gaps with the US Navy. For naval planners in the West, The Type 095 is a timely reminder of the accelerating pace of undersea competition.